Hi everybody, it's Erin Scott here. How are you doing? I'm recording this on Saturday, the 25th of January 2020, and this is really a quick video. And I'm just going to talk about some of the aspects of this metal rat year ahead, because it naturally brings forward an energetic, right? So what is the energetic of this year? I'm just going to bring forward a little bit. The first thing that I want to point out when we're looking at rat, and by the way, here I am. Hi, everybody, with my little double image here. Just wanted to say hi, since I really haven't been on screen very much at all lately. So there I am. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why rat is interesting. Because rat represents, in the Chinese wheel, the first animal. The first animal. So here is the list of the animals, the list of the animals in the order that they arrived according to the myth to this party. I'm going to read you this so you can see rat is the first. Ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, etc. They followed. Pig was last to arrive to this dinner. But I wanted to talk to you about the myth, all right? And I'm on Pachamama.org right now, but I also have another site up that I'm looking at. But here we have, there exists a story in Chinese mythology of a great race. So it was the race of the animals. Who was going to arrive first? So who was going to make it into the zodiac and in what order? So two main variations of the myth exist. In one variation, the Jade Emperor, the ruler of all gods within Chinese mythology, hosted the race. To finish the race and become one of the 12 animals in the calendar, the animals had to cross a river. So here's the interpretation of the story. So this is called the Great Race, right? So the Great Race loomed just on the horizon, and the cat and the rat were best of friends. Together, the two of them hatched a plan to ride the ox across the river together. They knew the large and hardy ox was accustomed to crossing rivers and would likely finish first. At the start of the race, the two animals slipped atop the ox. Being rather thick-headed, the ox was oblivious to the two animals atop him. But as the cat and the rat rode atop the ox, the rat jolted abruptly forward. The sudden force sent the cat flying off the ox and into the river. The cat let out a piercing hiss directed at the rat, but by then it was too late, and the ox with the rat atop was already too far ahead of the cat. Even to this day, cat still holds a grudge against rat. So in the mythology, that's this battle between these two animals, right? And it says, this is why cats hate water and hunts rat every time the cat sees the rat. So the ox lumbered towards the finish line. The ox was going to come first. Suddenly, the rat leapt from ox's back and crossed the finish line first. The ox crossed the finish line a moment later. However, the ox was too composed a sort to make a fuss. Water splashed forth from the river. The tiger had burst. So this is when all the rest arrive, right? So that's this list that we see here. That's the order that they arrived. Now, so they make it into the wheel. So what do we know just from that myth about rat? What are the qualities of rat? Well, we know that there's a shrewdness there. There's a cleverness there, and there's an opportunistic nature there. We also know by rats, from observation, from tests, that rats are playful and they're highly, highly intelligent. What I want to point out here, this is just something that I wrote many years ago. This was part of the archetypal profile that I provide sometimes. So let's talk about rat. First of all, let's read it from the beginning, actually, right? So the qualities of rat are encoded within you. This is if you're born the year of the rat. But what we're looking at is here just the narrative of, or the themes, or the qualities of rat for the year, as it applies for the year, okay? So these are the qualities of rat that are encoded within the year. It is these qualities and ways of being which represent the skills to embrace and express, as well as the challenged aspects to be matured and evolved. That's the way it always is. There's growth, opportunity, always happening, activated. So with regards to the archetype, okay, so observe the rat and what do you see? Activity, movement, figuring things out. Indeed, you as rat, or actually the year as rat, is a sign or a narrative, a theme, an orientation where initiation and activity are part and parcel. Okay? So the year will tend to depend on those that are moving forward. The year will depend on people moving forward this year. Rat represents constant mental activity. Even if appearing to pause or rest, the mind will tend toward full activity. Connected to this functionality, rat is inherently clever and discerning, and you tend to be productive and logical, meaning the activations within all of us will imbue these qualities. So there's a cleverness and a discerning nature that will be more up within the collective psyche this year. A proactivity and a logical, practical nature will also be activated. Rat tends to be direct in its approach. As rat, a socially adept, witty, charismatic, and verbally skilled nature is inherent within you. But what I will say about this is that rat can also be a bit inconsistent with communication and a bit amateurish with communication. So the socially adept, witty, charismatic, and verbally skilled nature is actually a growth edge for rat. I want to point that out because it's not very clear here. You are also naturally resourceful. So indeed, rat itself is resourcefulness. There's an opportunistic nature here. So what may be lacking in any specific area of competence is made up easily by other attributes. Rat is also deeply emotional, forming long-lasting ties, and rat is romantic in its orientation and is infinitely complex. Rat has complexity, right? That happens, by the way, with a higher intelligence level. So there's just more complexity playing out. Curiosity is innate, as well as a hyper-awareness to the environment. The encoded social mental nature of rat inherently nurtures path choices involving writing or critiquing. Okay? So again, there's a certain, let's say, abruptness and a rudeness that can come about with rat, but communicating, a cleverness and a wit in communicating is part and parcel to the narrative. As with all archetypes, rat contains inherent spiritual growth edges, which exist to be pushed, challenged, grown, matured, and evolved. It is the expansion of life embedded for action. The intrinsic mental focus of rat can result in agitation, annoyance, impatience, criticism, and intolerance. So what that means, everybody, is that this year will also carry that energetic. It'll also carry that functionality, more so than perhaps last year. Last year had plenty of agitation and annoyance, plenty of impatience and criticism, but this year will be different. Last year was the year of the pig. It had a different narrative playing out. So here, there will be agitation, something needing change, annoyance, something's needing to be pushed forward, something that might feel or be experienced as stagnant is requiring new choices, new systems, new decisions. So criticism and intolerance, oh boy, here in the US, we're having our elections at the end of the year. This is a big deal. There's going to be a lot of back and forth and duality coming about, right? Thus, rat is wholly required to understand the limits of these tendencies and to develop new skills and ways of being in these areas. So with annoyance, impatience, criticism, and intolerance, this is the growth edge. This is the maturity that's calling, right? So this year will be powerful. Rat is a powerful force, so the year of the rat will be a powerful year. Cockiness and overconfidence does not reflect your highest, fastest vibration. Deviousness can come forward in rat at times, emerging from its complex emotional story. So honest assessment and ownership, responsibility for your own story, your own mind, your own perception, is required for authentic self-evolution to unfold for this year. Rat is known by its mental proclivity to access details and thus attend to quantities. Quantities versus quality, which is, by the way, what I mentioned in the previous video. So the previous video that is now uploading, you can see it here, is the new moon. The new moon in Aquarius, but really the thematic for this next cycle, this next 30-day cycle. With rat, we're talking about a growth edge when it comes to quantities versus quality. Content creation versus correct, aligned, embodied, grounded, real, truthful storylines that are called to come out. Filling space with words or blogs or videos is not necessary now, and it's not in the highest order. There's lots of creativity to emerge. Let the truth come through. The truth of that creative impetus come through. But there's no need to fill space. It just creates busyness. And for a lot of people, that can create real issues with clarity, etc. So a good characteristic that can move into extremity can thus be calling to be embraced with clarity. So money and things of physical value, the quantities of life, the material realities of life is something that is a growth edge. And it can bring also very good things when it comes to quantities, i.e. money, finances, abundance for some people this year. Okay? Concealment is another theme that can come forward with rat, with the year of the rat. Concealment. So what is being secretive or hidden? This requires honesty to attain balance. So the growth edge with rat is to step into a place of honesty and transparency versus concealment. Okay? When we're looking at the metal, when we're looking at the element that's associated with this year, we're looking at metal. What I've read about metal is this has to do with stability and longevity. If we're looking at what I wrote here, let's look here. So metal, so this is let's say the energetic of the theme. Like rat is the quality of the themes of the year. Metal is, actually, let me say this. Rat are the themes of the year. The themes that are unfolding, the growth. Metal is the quality. So the quality of the year is metal. Okay? So down here, metal represents autumn and is associated with the planet Venus, which of course is love. I put love here, but again, critical to understand that Venus is also ethic, ethos, morals. What is it that we value? How do we love the self? How do we value the self? How do we love the other? How do we value the other? What is it that we value? Money, love, beauty. You know, where is our value system? Because that's where we're placing our energy. So what is it that we love? Okay? It's not just love as in relationship. It's what is it that we love? So metal is autumn, and autumn represents some sort of a transformational deepening process. The energies of the externalized processes of the ecosystems move deep within the root systems in autumn. So we have metal associated with deepening and ethos, value, love. Metal represents a period of harvesting and collecting. It is about retraction, shrinking, contracting, gathering, appreciation, and preparation, which is kind of a key to what I have recently been reading, which is about this kind of longevity. Rat likes to prepare and plan for the long term, and that speaks to autumn. That's all the animals in nature that are preparing for their hibernation or gathering the food and the harvest to prepare for their more scarce food opportunistic time frame, right? So rat represents preparation. And again, like I said, longevity, everybody. So this is just to give you a little bit of a picture of rat. This is an image that I came upon a long time ago, but you can see this is kind of a Chinese image of rat. When I was young, when I was in my early 20s, I actually had 2 pet rats for a while. They were highly intelligent. The one thing that I didn't write in here, and I wish I had, is that rat is very playful inherently. There's a playful nature to the rat. It's smart, it's clever. As we know by the myth, it cleverly jumps the ox, but then propels off the head of the ox in order to be first in line. And so what we're looking about with rat, and again, when we're looking at this particular order, is that rat represents Aries, Mars, the beginning of the cycle. Rat is really the beginning of the cycle, is it not? And what we're looking at, that is very highly, tightly, correctly, accurately, naturally, inherently aligned with the 2020 cycle of new process. By the end of 2020, we're entering a new paradigm, and indeed, we will be still in the year of the rat. The rat is a new beginning. 2020 is a new beginning. This is what it's all about, everybody. It's a big time. It's a big deal. For you, there are growth edges. For each of us, there is growth edges. For the collective, there is growth edges. But it is not our individual optimal focused energy to look out there for that to evolve. We can't control out there. What we can control is in here. So for you, as you operate this year in the natural energetic of the rat, this year of strength and longevity and cleverness, and also issues of money and things and the quantities of stability in your life, as you operate through this process of growth, there are growth edges for you to be attentive to, clear about, self-owning about, responsible for, and participating in your own growth process. As you do that, the collective will evolve. As you attend to your own narratives of the evolution of rat energy or the contextual situations in your life as they are showing up with these rat narratives, you can step up and participate in a new evolved way, one that is clever, intelligent, and not unethical, not jumping off the head of the ox to, or perhaps some of you are going to, read that story. A lot of you actually will. And you'll be, of course, I would step ahead. I would use the ox and, get to my own place at the head of the line. Well, that's for your own journey. That's for your own navigation. That's for your own growth process. Each of us has a different orientation toward that. Right? So the cleverness, in other words, associated with Mars and Aries, the infant of the zodiac, there is a certain aspect there that inherently is to be matured and evolved. Rat is clever, but it also has processes that it needs to evolve, like all archetypes do, like each one of these archetypes does. Okay? You can see my old kitty cat there. So I send you all so much love for this time, for indeed the great race, or the new ethic when it comes to how you use your intelligence this year. I hope that makes sense. I'll shrink this down so you can see the rest of this image here. I have my shoe bill here, a beautiful HD image that I kind of spotlighted in my other video, my February video. Look at these beasties. They're just so gorgeous. Now, for those interested in understanding what your encoded archetypes are, you know, you can be in touch. You can email me. I actually took off my archetypal profile from my services, but for those kind of, you know, intrinsically interested in that, you know, you can be in touch and place an order with me. You can email me if you'd like the link. Okay? All right, everybody. Much love to you for your month ahead, for your year ahead, and I'll have more coming soon. In fact, I'm going to look at the symbology of koala and kangaroo, and indeed of Australia in general, and that's going to come next. So I send you much love. Bye-bye.